lot more advantageous for me to be trying to, like most people are trying to avoid pain instead of necessarily like, you want pleasure too, but only after you've avoided the pain. Right. And so I think that, you know, we're always trying to find the ways that things can go wrong or why it's fucked up or something. So
that's why we take the easy route.
Hence why we were just talking too. Everybody loves to point out a problem, right? Yeah. Man, traffic's super fucked up. Man, this sucks and that sucks. But very rarely do you see anybody banging their head against the wall and trying to come up with a solution for any of these things.
Or do you see people just like, what a great day, I didn't have traffic. Like, tell me about your day without traffic.
Yeah, but like you said, you get stuck in that habit though. You get stuck in the habit of constantly always looking for the problem. So even when there is no problem there, brain does its thing. I mean, so think it's about looking for something to complain about.
It's manifested again in like stuff like Yelp reviews and stuff like that. Like, why is it so hard to get a good review, even though most of your interactions with your customers are good? Yeah. Because that's the point. Most of your interactions with your customers.
That's what I wanted. That's what I expected.
Yeah, that's what I expect from you. But when you do something wrong, oh buddy, I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah, that's well, when people go to the Yelp review, they're not like, I wonder what nice things people have to say about this restaurant.
Like, tell me what was broken.
You're even looking for the like. They're looking for shit like, did you see?
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I want to know if these motherfuckers got roaches.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, so you're gonna look at the Yelp reviews like to look for the negative shit. Like, if you see a 5-star review on Yelp, you're not gonna be like, ooh, let me read about their bisque.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, oh, has anybody had any bad interaction? Yeah. And I'm not like calling out our entire culture, but it kind of just is that way, like you said, biologically.
It's not even culture. Yeah, I think it's humanity.
Yeah, it's just humans. It's humans in general, because it plays out in every country, all over the place. You see it online in different countries that don't even have the same social medias that we do. People are like, I think it has to do with survival. I think that the whole Sigmund Freud evolution thing, like, that's why I believe in evolution. Like, I still can't get over the whole, you know, like, coming from, like, when people say that we come from chimpanzees, that's not really like the same. Like, chimpanzees and us come from the same thing, so it's a little bit different. But I always had a problem with that. But now that I've like actually tried to understand what they're saying, I'm like, oh, this actually makes sense. The way that the system operates, and it's like the same from the largest scale to the smallest scale. You can see how it would be very advantageous for you to just survive first. Like, that's what you have to do. You have to survive first, and then you thrive. So you're basically, like you said, trying to alleviate all the pain and then get pleasure from there. But you're not trying to like balance out your pain with pleasure.
Well, I think to tie this all back, this is why we were saying people go for the job, right? It's like you said, it's not about following your dreams and finding a purpose. It's about surviving. And, you know, these people offer you the easiest and most guaranteed route to survival, like cold hard cash in pocket. Like I said, it's already set up. You don't need to worry about if it works or not. Like, it literally is just so I think that's why most people default to it, and not in the sense of, and you don't really think outside of that, because a lot of people are just running on that hard wire of like, just got to survive out here, like, you know, just surviving. So but I think that leads to very unhappy people in the society which we live in, where survival is almost kind of guaranteed. I mean, especially in America.
I mean, here in America, I mean, we're specifically talking about first world nations here, basically, because obviously, and I mean, and that's the whole
there's
point,
a lot of people around the world
first,
who are just fighting for survival,
just
period. Like, that's why I said, like, you know, if you came from the gutter, like, and to get that middle class lifestyle, like, that's a gift. You know?
It sounds like we're making a case for universal basic income, but I don't think the three of us, I don't think any of us three think the government should just be giving out a bunch of free money every month. But the idea that gets you past the rate of survival is the deeper theory that I would like to touch on. This idea that if we, in our society, not necessarily a safety net, more so just a base, like a floor.
Yeah.
I like that idea, like the compassionate side of me, and yes, there is one. I like that idea.
I can see it in your eyes.
But the problem for me is that I think that generates the wrong incentives. Like, I feel like I want to do that, but that's not really what's best for everybody, because I feel like what you would rather do is spend your time making everybody as capable as possible. Like, you don't want to make your child safe. You want to make your child capable, so that your child is able to do the things it needs to do as it's progressing through its life. So in the same way, like, you don't want to console your society. You want to make your society capable. You want it to be able to survive in harsh conditions if it needs to. Because if your safety net or your base falls out from under you, then everybody drops. If that's because, as we've just illustrated, the majority of people are going to take the path of least resistance. And if the path of least resistance involves getting money without having to even have the job, then I feel like a lot of people will do that, and they'll fill their time, but I don't think that they'll fill their time with anything purpose-driven.
That's where I'm at with it. It's like the whole premise of my whole premise in this conversation is the fact that chase for survival does not lead to happiness, right?
Right.
So for example, you fall into the job, but then why do you work that shitty job that you hate for 40 years?
Yeah, after you know that you hate it.
Yeah, and you've been surviving out here for a long time, but you never switched gears into that, like, well, what's my purpose or my dream, or what can I do to give beyond this, right. And so I worry that doesn't kick on if I just hand you the job now. So instead
that's my same worry,
right?
Too,
It's like if I just say, okay, well, here's basic survival, you don't have to worry about that, then it encourages more people to just sit there on the bottom, right? I feel like, I don't know necessarily, but
some number of people would be like, oh, my survival's taken care of now, I can go be amazing, and
right?
make amazing things and do amazing things, but we don't.
But I think a lot of people will attempt it, but I don't think a lot of people will follow through, because I mean, we see that now.
Well, based on human nature, you're kind of making the point that, like, they might just sit on the floor. A lot of people might, like, if you give them a floor, not everybody's going to reach for the stars. They're just going to sleep on the floor.